Well, good morning, YouTube. Arizona RE. Back on the Tiger 800 with all of its accoutrements. Got my lovely wife riding around on her lovely Triumph Bonneville right behind me. That's her. And there are cameras everywhere this morning. Good times. So by now, surely most of you who follow or subscribe have seen the bolt-on video I did, where basically I just threw everything on this bike as it came in. And man, that was actually a fun video to make. And of course, knowing you guys were watching me with the cameras there, I couldn't, you know, yell and scream and throw tools across the garage. Now, could I? Not that that's ever happened. I mean, you know, at least not in quite a while since I got more organized. So another couple things I've been doing too is I tinkered around and I've been playing with the microphones in the helmet and playing with those settings as well. I've installed a chin guard on the helmet to try and stop some of the blown out wind sound. I mean, there's a ton of dead cat fur in here and lots of sound absorbing material, and I can't get the sound to where I'm satisfied with it, so this is yet another experiment in that endeavor. So you guys will have to let me know what you think of it. And I've got cameras everywhere. Of course, the new crash bars, they call them crash bars or engine dresser bars, I think is Triumph's official name for them. I call them camera mount bars because you get a really cool angle when you put your camera there. So from top to bottom, some of the things I did, I added another, another 1-inch riser to the bars, and man, that has me sitting pretty. When I stand up, my head is not over top of the light bucket, so that's a good thing. And I also went with the heaters, the Oxford heaters, heated grips, and I know. I'm in Arizona. What kind of wimp are you? You need heated grips. Well, let me tell you folks something. Yeah, I've done a couple of weeks of riding to work and back where in the mornings we're talking temperatures ranging between 20 and 30 degrees, so below freezing the entire time in the mornings. And with completely naked grips on this bike, you know, I could hang with it for the commute and I'd just tough it out. If I got stopped at a light or something, then I would tuck my fingers into the engine area, and still, you know, my fingers would ache when I got to work, but I, you know, usually get over it pretty quick. So then I invested in some snowmobile gloves that somebody was selling on Craigslist, that barely used, obviously, because you're in Arizona. And those Joe Rocket snowmobile gloves, those things, they work. They definitely work. That was definitely an improvement. But we had another snap of another couple of 20-degree days when I'm riding to work at 5 o'clock in the morning. And my hands, it wasn't the joints, it wasn't how cold they were, it was almost like the skin was getting burned, even through the gloves. The skin started drying out and cracking right in the joints, on the backs of the knuckles, and I was like, wow. So even though I could actually, you know, withstand, I mean, it didn't hurt that bad to drive or ride with cold hands for the amount of time that I was exposed to it, but I was actually sort of getting frostburn on my knuckles. I don't know what else to call that, and the skin was cracking and causing an issue. So when it came time to check off the box for a bunch of other things, now a lot of these things I had ordered from Triumph when I got the bike, and they just hadn't come in yet. Apparently the Tiger 800 kind of went big, I guess, this last 2 years. It kind of went big to where a lot of people were buying them, and a lot of people were outfitting their Tigers if they weren't already that way from the factory. Mine wasn't. Mine was a very basic model. And what ended up happening was parts were on hold. They weren't sourcing them from the right place. Maybe somebody wasn't checking their inventory right. I don't know. But it took a while for them to get here. The other thing was that I opted to install everything myself and not pay someone else to do it. So, you know, I'm going to save myself the labor, and if I've got to pull the handlebars off, well, I'm going to do everything at once, like the grips and the hand guards. So when it all came in, that's when I did it, and I have to say the vast improvement for my hands and for comfort in general with the hand guards and the heated grips. My ride to work is exceptionally comfortable now. In fact, this last week there were plenty of days hovering right around the freezing mark, and I'd get to work and my fingers were actually warm to the touch. So these heaters, the Oxford heaters grips, I can't recommend them enough. For those of you that have a Triumph Tiger that maybe didn't come with the factory heated grips. So anyway, for those of you that might need to outfit your Triumph Tiger with some heated grips because it didn't come from the factory like that, I think all of the XR X and XRT and XRA, all those models, they all come with heated grips, I think, from the factory. But in case they didn't, and you're looking for aftermarket grips, because the factory grips are outrageous. They want $300 and change for them here, and that's, to me, that's unacceptable. When I got these Oxford grips for $69 at Revzilla, there's no reason to spend $300 on grips. So if you're in that position and you're wondering which of these Oxford grips will fit, don't get the touring and don't get the adventure bike models, because both of those you'll have to trim a little bit off of the tip. I got the sport model. They're very, very grippy. They will definitely make the grip a little thicker. But more importantly is you don't have to cut anything. They fit right on, just perfect, the sport model. And luckily, I checked out the Triumph, I think it was Triumph Rat. I had checked out Triumph Rat and the forums there, and that's how I heard about it. I was like, oh, I got the sport models because they were on sale. It turns out I didn't have to trim anything. Whereas the guys that were getting the touring model or the adventure model, they all had to trim a little bit off the end, especially on the accelerator side. So these went on relatively without a hitch. The only real difficulty in all of it, at all, if there was any at all, other than the bother of actually doing it in the first place, was sanding down the accelerator tube. Because this grip is going to slide right over, and you have to sand it down. And of course, the stock accelerator tube has all sorts of little nubs on it, so you have to trim those off with a razor, a la Del Boy's Garage. And then I used the Andyman Cam version of hitting it with some sandpaper and stepping it down, and I got it really, really smooth and was able to fit it on there. And if the right side, the accelerator side, went on as a friction fit. I didn't have to put any glue or anything like that. In fact, I had to lube it to get it on. And for those of you that have seen my video, I used a incredibly durable yet temporary lubricant. One of the more popular lubricants out there. And on the left side, I actually had to glue this one down because you could just slip it right on and off. So anyway, yeah, I went with the heated grips, and that wasn't too bad. And of course, the hand guards here, that protects from the wind on the back of the hand. So all in all, pretty good picture there. These hand grips, or excuse me, the hand guards come with a little heavier bar end weight than the than the stock Tiger 800 did. So that was actually kind of cool too. It's a little more robust on the end caps there. Yes, and I've made a decision on the luggage, and the trigger has been pulled. So the big luggage reveal will be coming. I know luggage normally isn't that big of a deal, but actually on these bikes it is. I could damn near buy another bike for what luggage costs for these things, and that's just kind of the way it is especially with adventure type bikes. You know, admittedly, I'll be riding this thing 90% of the time on pavement, but you know, I couldn't go the big time route. I really wanted something sturdy like a Touratech or SW Motec or even the GV big aluminum bags or aluminum cans. I just could not bring myself to go that route. So I got a really good deal, and I'm pretty pleased with it, and I can't wait to show you guys. But it's going to be a while till it gets here. It's on order, and I'll reveal that when it gets here, because I've got some trips coming up. That's right, some big trips coming up. I've got a couple of little camping trips around Arizona that I want to knock out this year, and of course a lot of that will be running in the bike and testing the new gear, new equipment. You know, I kind of had a method down with the CTX, and this time I'll be having a method down with the Tiger here, and with the luggage and everything I'm getting, I'm going to be able to pack more stuff. Of course, that means a greater change to my riding dynamics. So I'm going to want to make some test runs and see how that goes. Because as most of you know by now, I've signed on to do the 2016 XXX Deadhead Sean Smoke Giant Moto Midget. I've signed on to do that thing this year, and this time it's up at Yellowstone. So what is that? That's about a 1,000-mile ride for me to get there, and then 1,000 miles to come back, and not even going to count the miles we're going to spend riding around Yellowstone, which is ginormous. I think Yellowstone is actually parts of it are in like 4 different states, and we're not talking small states. So I'm really looking forward to that. I've already made my reservations for camping up there. Secured myself a spot and plugging away pennies to have in my pocket for that trip, because you know, things can pop up. You got to be prepared. You know, I think last time one of the guys popped a tire on his way up there, and that was a downer, because you know that had to be like a $200-300 expense, just bang right off the top. That sucks. So I want to be prepared for that kind of thing, because you never know. You just never know. Anyway, I'm just kind of rambling on right now. I think I'm going to let you guys go, and you guys have a great Sunday, and I'm going to finish enjoying this beautiful ride. It's supposed to get up to 75 degrees today. Cannot wait. Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.